If you've ever felt someone disappear from your life so completely that you questioned reality itself, you didn't lose them. They erased you, on purpose, and here's why you'll never recover from it. There's a woman in your life right now, or there was, who you can't stop thinking about. Not because you love her, because you fear her. She's the one who knows what you're going to say before you say it. Who disappeared so cleanly you started questioning if she was ever real. Who somehow became more powerful in her absence than she ever was in your presence. In ancient times, she would have been the oracle. The priestess who spoke prophecies that always came true. Today, she's in the corporate office next to yours, the art studio downtown, the quiet neighborhood you drive through, and if you've crossed her, you're already living in the aftermath. Every woman like this has an origin story, and it always starts with a betrayal. There's a before version. Optimistic, generous, believing good intentions actually mean something. Then someone she loved, someone she trusted, got close enough to see her blueprints and set fire to the entire building. What happened next is what separates her from everyone else. She didn't break. She didn't become bitter. She transmuted. Like a phoenix, she had to die first. The version that trusted easily, dead. The version that gave endlessly, gone. The version that believed the best in people, burned to ash. What rose from those ashes was something else entirely. Something with eyes that see in the dark. Here's what neuroscience tells us: trauma rewires the brain. But here's what science can't explain: why some women's rewiring makes them more dangerous, not less functional. Their pattern recognition becomes supernatural. Their bullshit detector becomes flawless. Their ability to read you becomes disturbing. She developed what I call the sight. She can read energy signatures the way you read text messages. She senses deception the way sharks sense blood in water. She knows with absolute certainty when your words and your intentions are completely misaligned. This wasn't a gift she was born with. This was a scar that became a sense organ. Now she moves through the world reading people like ancient languages. You think you're hiding your truth. She sees it glowing like radiation. Your fears, your lies, your calculations, your hunger. All of it visible to her in ways that would genuinely disturb you if you knew. And here's the part that makes her truly formidable. She remembers everything. Not like someone with a good memory, like someone with a forensic database embedded in their consciousness. That conversation in 2019 where you contradicted yourself, filed. The way you treated the waiter when you thought no one was watching, archived. The micro-expression that crossed your face for half a second, logged and categorized. She's building a psychological profile on you the way detectives build murder cases. And she never closes the case. She just keeps adding evidence until the file becomes irrefutable. You think you're just having a conversation with her? You're not. You're interacting with a consciousness that has 17 reference points for every word you're about to say. She's already lived this conversation 6 different ways in her mind. She knows which version you'll choose, based on patterns you don't even know you have. Now here's where it gets really interesting. She doesn't set boundaries the way normal people do. No lines in sand, no ultimatums, no dramatic confrontations. Instead, she constructs something far more elegant. A labyrinth. And most people never even realize they're in it. You think you're getting closer to her, earning trust, becoming important in her world. What you don't see is the architecture. Every conversation is a test. Every casual interaction is an observation. Every level of the labyrinth has a guardian, a question only certain people can answer correctly. Not through words, through action, through integrity when no one's watching, through consistency when it costs something. Most people get lost in the outer rings and never even realize there's a center. You could know her for years and never get past level 3. There are exactly 3 ways to get permanently exiled from her world. 3 unforgivable sins that will get you erased so completely, You'll question if you ever existed to her at all. Sin number 1, the exploitation of vulnerability. She lets you see her soft parts. Not many, not often. But when she does, that's trust, crystallized into a moment. Use this against her. Weaponize it, mock it, share it, minimize it, and you've just signed your own exile papers. She'll never show you that part of herself again, ever. To anyone who knows her after you, you're the reason her walls got higher. You're the ghost haunting her security system. Sin number 2, the casual disrespect. The joke that wasn't funny, the dismissal in front of others, the condescending tone you used when you thought your position protected you. She doesn't react in the moment because she's busy updating her internal assessment of your character. 6 months later, when you need her, you'll discover that debt comes due, not in anger, in silence. Sin number 3, the betrayal of the code. Every woman like this has an internal code. Her personal constitution. You might not know what it is, but she expects you to feel it. When you violate it, usually through some combination of dishonesty, disloyalty, or cruelty disguised as pragmatism, something changes behind her eyes. The connection doesn't fray. It doesn't weaken. It cauterizes. Clean, complete, irreversible. And here's the thing that confuses everyone. She operates on an equation most people don't understand. Respect x consistency equals access. Remove either variable, and the product becomes 0. Not reduced, 0. What confuses people is that she seems patient. She is patient. But here's what you're missing. She's giving you time to reveal your patterns, gathering data, confirming suspicions, running simulations on who you really are. When she finally acts, you say, "This came out of nowhere." No, this came out of everywhere. Out of 47 microaggressions you thought she missed. Out of 12 broken commitments you thought were forgotten. Out of patterns she spotted in month 3 that you only confirmed in month 12. Her patience wasn't forgiveness. It was research. And now the research is complete. When she removes you from her life, something happens that people describe as almost supernatural. She doesn't block you in anger. She performs what can only be described as an energetic excision. You're still in her phone. She might even smile if you pass on the street. But you're a hologram now, visible but insubstantial. She's not in the same dimension as you anymore. She's phased into a frequency you simply cannot access. People describe it like trying to grab smoke. She's there but not there, present but absent. You can see her, but you can't reach her. And the most disturbing part? She seems perfectly content, lighter even, like your presence was weight she didn't realize she was carrying until it was gone. She doesn't explain. She doesn't give you the closure of an argument, because arguing would mean you still matter enough to convince. You don't. This silence is different from the silent treatment. The silent treatment is punishment. It requires your awareness and discomfort to function. Her silence is indifference. She's genuinely moved on. You're studying for a test that's already over. Some people find this silence absolutely maddening. They send paragraph-long texts analyzing what went wrong, asking for closure, demanding explanations. She reads them with the detached interest of an anthropologist studying an extinct culture. Sometimes she doesn't even read them. They're just noise from a frequency she's tuned out. Meanwhile, her life? Flourishing. New projects. New connections. New versions of herself emerging like butterflies. You're not in the before and after photos. You're not in the story at all. You've been edited out so cleanly that even the people who knew you both don't remember you were ever there. Now here's the part that happens in the shadows, the part most people never connect back to her. She was connected to networks you didn't know existed. She was the quiet recommender, the behind-the-scenes advocate, the person whose opinion quietly shaped opportunities. When she withdraws this invisible support, you start to notice things get harder. Doors that seemed open suddenly stick. Connections that felt solid go lukewarm. Opportunities that seemed inevitable just evaporate. You can't trace it back to her because she hasn't done anything. She simply stopped doing the invisible something she was doing before. The difference between active harm and withdrawn support looks exactly the same from the outside. In both cases, you're treading water. In both cases, you're slowly sinking. She's not sabotaging you. She's just no longer secretly helping you. And that absence of help, it turns out, was more valuable than you ever realized. Years pass. You think you've moved on. You're in a new relationship, new job, new city. Then something happens, a song, a scent, a similar situation, and you remember her. Not the surface memory, the feeling memory. You remember what it was like to be in her energy field. How seen you felt, how elevated, how possible everything seemed when she believed in you. And now, nothing hits quite the same way. Other people come and go. You date, you connect, you move on. But her absence is specific. It's a her-shaped hole in your life, and you realize too late that she wasn't just a person. She was a mirror reflecting your highest potential. Lose her, and you lose that reflection. Some people spend years, decades, even trying to find someone who makes them feel the way she did. They don't realize it wasn't about how she made them feel. It was about how she invited them to be. And now that invitation is permanently rescinded. Here's something that will disturb you. She knew. She has access to a kind of knowing that can't be taught. She's tapped into what mystics call the web, the invisible network of causality that connects all things. She sees the future not because she's psychic, but because she understands patterns so deeply that outcomes become predictable. She knew your relationship would fail 6 months before you did. She saw the pattern. She knew your business would struggle because she watched you make the same mistakes she's seen crash a dozen others. But she didn't warn you. Why would she? Cassandra learned that lesson the hard way. No one believes the oracle until the prophecy comes true. And by then it's too late. So she watches. She waits. She protects herself from the blast radius. And when it all unfolds exactly as she knew it would, she's already 3 cities away. Untouched. Unscathed. Unsurprised. So what makes her different from someone who's just been hurt and hardened? What separates her from someone who's just bitter? The alchemy. Most people transmute pain into bitterness. She transmutes it into wisdom. She takes betrayal and extracts the lesson like venom from a wound, studying it, understanding it, building immunity to it. Each person who crosses her becomes a case study in her internal database. She learns from you. Your manipulation tactics get added to her defense systems. Your lies become calibration for her detector. Your patterns become warnings she'll recognize in others. You're not just out of her life, you're involuntarily contributing to her evolution. You made her stronger. And she's using that strength on people and projects you'll never meet, on opportunities you'll never see, on versions of herself you'll never encounter. In a strange way, you're still serving her, just not in the way you intended. Society tells women to be accessible, available, accommodating, easy to reach, easy to please. She discovered something radical. There is power in being unreachable. Not playing hard to get, that's manipulation. This is different. This is genuine inaccessibility. She's not on your level anymore. She's reorganized her entire consciousness around principles that don't include you. It's like trying to reach someone who's ascended to a different plane of existence. The phone number still works, but the person who answers isn't really there. They're a diplomatic echo of someone who's already moved into territory you don't have clearance for. And this unreachability, it's magnetic. People become obsessed with accessing what they can't reach. But she's not interested in being accessed. She's interested in building something so beautiful in her unreachable space that only people who can naturally reach that frequency are invited in. Everyone else stays outside, looking in, wondering what they're missing. And if you're listening because you crossed her because you're now living in the haunting absence of her, here's your uncomfortable truth. She's not coming back, not the way she was. That door didn't close, it dissolved. The person you knew integrated the experience of knowing you and became someone new. That new person has no space for you. Can you rebuild? Maybe. But it requires genuine transformation, not performance. Real change, not theatrical apologies. And even if you do the work, even if you become someone genuinely worthy of her, she's not obligated to witness it. That's not cruelty. That's boundary. Your work now is to learn the lesson you were meant to learn from losing her, to let that loss teach you how to treat the next person better. Carry the ghost of her in your conscience as a standard for how you show up in the world. She'll always be the one that got away, not because she was perfect, but because she was never gotten in the first place. She was herself, sovereign, complete, whole. And you had the privilege of proximity until you didn't. So, why do you never cross a Sigma female? Because she's not just a woman. She's a frequency. She's a teacher, a mirror, a portal to your own potential or your own shadow depending on how you engage with her. Cross her, and you don't just lose a person. You lose access to the version of yourself that her presence called forth. You lose the silent motivation of someone who saw your potential. You lose the reflection that showed you what you could become. She'll forget you with the ease of water flowing around stone. Unbothered, unbroken, undiminished. Her life will continue expanding in directions you'll never see. She'll reach heights you'll never witness. She'll become versions of herself you'll never meet. And you'll carry the haunting of her absence like a phantom limb, forever reaching for something that's no longer there, forever comparing everyone else to the standard she set, forever wondering what could have been if you just treated her differently. Choose wisely. Treat sacredly. Respect absolutely. Because some women aren't meant to be crossed. They're meant to be revered. If this resonated with you, you know what to do. And if you're the one who got erased, now you know why.